This is the national gold run where e-waste management is done. In addition, computer refurbishment is done here. But who is the man behind all this? Dr. Musili is an accountant by profession, but that is of less significance to him for now. A former Kenya Air Force employee is now absorbed in electronic waste management. His current trade has seen him travel the breadth and width of the world in a service that is more than just giving back to the society.
Explain to them hardware part of the computer and also installation, then later software.
Good. But who exactly is Dr. Musili and how did he come to get into computing?
As a person, I'm a very down-to-earth person, having been brought in a very rural, dry, semi-arid place in Yatta Plateau. Got my early education in Yatta and proceeded to my high school in Machakos. So I can say that's where I've come from. That humble beginning, looking after cows, hunting, harvesting honey, and all those things people would do. Hunting like the things you see in movies, like goats must be crazy. That's life. Yes. My background is not computing. First, after my education, I joined the military. I worked in the Air Force for some years, and then I left the military and joined the corporate world, and finally I landed to computers. So that computing has not been it's not my background. My profession, I'm an accountant, and that's what I had passion in when I was growing up. But computing came about by coincidence, or I should call it coincidence. One time I was doing consulting in accounting and management, and one of my clients was in computers, and they decided to sell the farm and go back to the US, and I bought that farm as an ongoing concern. That's how I got to computers.
West Electrical and Electronic Equipment Center is part of a large electronics empire that Dr. Musili manages. Here, worn-out computers are refurbished and given to schools through Computers for Schools Kenya program, and those that are beyond repair are sorted into pieces that are recycled in other ways. As at now, the WIS Center has refurbished and issued out over 40,000 computers to different schools and colleges across the country. Initially, this program was met with skepticism from stakeholders, but now the idea has become a solace for many schools. And how did Dr. Musili make the breakthrough?
Then during my business trips, I went to the US, Atlanta, Georgia in the year 2001. And it's where I got the idea of Computers for Schools Kenya from the director of Computers for Schools Canada. I came with the idea, but my plan was really to hand the idea to the government, because it is not easy to do a national program as a charity or as an individual. So this can only be done by the government. So that time computing was not it was not common in this country, and especially in government offices. The Minister of Education that time was not able to really embrace that idea and start the program that time. So I decided to start it, and I approached my very close friends. One of them is the ambassador in Namibia and Angola, Ambassador Peter Gitau, and the member of parliament for Naivasha, Honorable John Mutudho. I approached them for support, and then the corporate joined, the Safaricom, Michael Joseph, Barclays, Aidan Mohammed, HP joined also. They could see the idea I had for this country third time was a good idea. So with the support, and Dr. Grivin, as you can see, is the person I really owe a lot of respect, gave me the space to start Computers for Schools Kenya at Starry Boys Center. And that is how we started, and that's how I got to computing, and that is how I got to start Computers for Schools Kenya. So that
it is estimated that 75% of electronic items are stored due to uncertainty of how to manage them. These electronic junks lie unattended in houses, offices and warehouses, and more often they are mixed with household wastes, which are finally disposed of at landfills. This later poses huge waste management crisis besides wanton degradation of the environment. The hazardous content of these materials pose a threat to human health and environment. Discarded computers, televisions, VCRs, stereos, fax machines, electronic lamps, cell phones, audio equipment and batteries, if improperly disposed, can leach lead and other substances into the soil and groundwater. Many of these products can be reused, refurbished or recycled in an environmentally sound manner so that they are less harmful to the ecosystem. For example, the plastic casings of dead electronics are grinded in a special machine and used to manufacture plastic beams and equipment, as in this case.
we have refurbished and taken to schools over 48,000 computers to date. And this translates to about 2,500 learning institutions. Not learning institutions alone. We have also reached about 106 community centers. Community centers is where we have informal training and where people can access internet and send emails in a central place.
Next month, beginning 14th to 16th, Kenya will be hosting African nations at Basel Convention that is intended to address e-waste issues, and in this, Dr. Musili will be providing a case study for Kenya. The fundamental aims of the Basel Convention are the control and reduction of transboundary movement of hazardous and other wastes, including the prevention and minimization of their generation, the environmentally sound management of such wastes, and the active promotion of the transfer and use of technology. As Dr. Musili wends his effort in e-waste management, he is also planning to make the best out of his interaction with computers. Under his pipeline is an e-learning project that will help and probably completely overturn how studies are conducted in schools. He is, however, acknowledging the underlying hiccups, but his dream is rising above them.
Human heart. It receives deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body, and the blood keeps going to the right ventricle.
E-learning in this country is not very much entrenched to the ICT and education, and we have challenges because of several issues. We have a few universities like Kenyatta University, Nairobi, trying e-learning but on a small scale. Not like a university like UNISA in South Africa. They have thousands of students out there who can learn, who can use e-learning to even learn until they pass their exams. So we need to scale it up here in Kenya. To scale e-learning, we need to do a few things. One is to provide the ICT infrastructure. These are the computers, to make sure at least not only schools, but we have community centers and individuals with computers, desktops and laptops. And the second thing is to have internet connectivity so that people now can access learning materials via internet. They can access anything they want for learning. They can also do tests online. They are marked, and then even certificates are issued online. That is when we can say we are practicing e-learning. And that's why, as Computers for Schools Kenya, we are coming with online training on basic literacy, so that you can train yourself on how to use the operating system and Office online, and email and internet. You don't have to go to a college to learn that.
Recently, Dr. Musili was appointed as the CEO for Digital Pipeline Africa, and will be taking the job beginning next month.
You level it first. Now, from March, I'll be managing, or I'll be working for Digital Pipeline Africa, and the aim is to replicate what we have done in Kenya to other African countries. So I'll be helping other African countries to come up with the same process we have here, to really make sure our airline institutions benefit from refurbished computers, and we are able to handle end of life in all the African countries to avoid issues of dumping. So I'll be working with partners in those countries, and this program is supported by Microsoft, and a Microsoft program called Digital Pipeline Africa, Digital Pipeline, a project of Microsoft and World PC. So World PC and that project of Microsoft will be helping my work in those countries to make sure we do not progress in isolation, we move with other African countries.
At 50 years, Dr. Musili is a married man with one son. He is also a man who seeks wisdom from God, and as he keeps respect for all faiths, he is looking forward to enroll in theology to understand biblical wisdom deeply.
Yes, I'm married. I have a wife and I have a son. I have one son. He's a big guy now. He's now 19 years in his first year at the university.
To begin, are you saved?
I would like to say I'm a Christian. That is my faith. But I'm a good reader of the Bible. And for your information also, I'm going to do a master's in theology in May. And I don't want to be a preacher, but to gain more knowledge. Because there is a lot of more knowledge in the Bible, to understand it more and get more wisdom. So I have several encouraging verses, and especially Psalms, where when you are down, you can just the songs of David and you are encouraged. So there are a number of them. Yes.
Manuya Kevin, GBS.